heroes as they take down one Hydra base after another. Howard equips Steve with a brand new outfit, as well as a brand new circular shield made out of an indestructible metal called vibranium. Eventually, Steve and the others attempt to capture Zola from a speeding train in the snowy mountains. Steve and Bucky fight Zola's guards, and a hole is blown in the side of the train. Bucky finds himself hanging on for dear life. Steve tries to save him, but Bucky eventually falls to his death. No! Zola is captured and then questioned by Chester. By now, Zola has become fed up with Schmidt's obsession with conquering the world, as Schmidt has gone rogue and even made Hitler and his army an enemy of Hydra. Chester offers Zola amnesty and tells them everything he knows about Schmidt and Hydra, and Zola cooperates. Meanwhile, Steve mourns the death of his best friend, but can't get drunk about it because of his increased metabolism. So Peggy comforts him and gives Steve back his confidence. Steve leads the assault on Hydra's final base buried deep within the Alps. An Allied forces pour through the front door. A massive fight takes place as Steve tries to stop Schmidt from leaving on an aircraft stocked with weapons to take out America's eastern seaboard, but he can't keep it. Chester and Peggy pick Steve up in Schmidt's advanced car and get underneath so Steve can jump on. But before he does, Peggy gives Steve a kiss and good luck. Inside, Steve confronts Schmidt one-on-one, and Steve manages to disrupt the power of the Tesseract. Schmidt touches it and creates a portal that teleports him into the vacuum of space, killing him. This is the Tesseract's true power, and it'll make much more sense later on. Steve then tries to stabilize the aircraft, but the controls were damaged during the fight, and there's no way that Steve can land it. The only thing Steve can do is crash it into the water, which would sadly kill him. He calls Peggy to say a tearful goodbye, and they make a rain check for their first date and dance together. He crashes the aircraft into the frozen Arctic waters and is lost. Howard and his team later recover the Tesseract, but are unable to locate Steve or the plane. The war ends, and Steve's death is mourned by his friends. However, in the present day, the aircraft and Steve's body were finally recovered. The ice kept Steve's body preserved, keeping him alive, and Steve is hit by an insane culture shock. Fury informs Steve that he's been asleep for almost 70 years, but Steve is more heartbroken by the fact he never got his date with Peggy. Damn. And now we've reached the first of many crossover films in this franchise with The Avengers. The film begins with everyone being evacuated out of a SHIELD facility. The Tesseract is being housed there, and lately it's been spontaneously sending out a signal to somewhere unknown, putting the entire facility on alert. Fury is called in along with his right-hand woman, Maria Hill, and meets with Coulson and Eric regarding the situation. Fury left Clint in charge so he could keep a close eye on things, and Clint reports that whoever turned the Tesseract on did it from the other side. Suddenly, a portal opens up and the mischief god himself, Loki, enters armed with a powerful scepter. He's been tasked by the Other and another powerful being to retrieve the Tesseract, and in exchange he'll be given the Chitauri army to conquer Earth. Loki attacks Fury and the others and brainwashes Clint and Eric using his new scepter. Fury tries to leave with the Tesseract, but thanks to his new followers, Loki is able to escape with the Tesseract as the facility caves in on itself, courtesy of the Tesseract's discharge. With the planet's greatest power source now in the hands of a mad god, Fury decides it is finally time to activate the Avengers Initiative. Fury begins assembling Earth's mightiest heroes, starting with Natasha. He then has Natasha track down a still fugitive Bruce Banner in Calcutta, who is now played by a different actor. Bruce hasn't turned into the Hulk in almost a year after finally his anger, but with some persuasion, Bruce agrees to come with her when Natasha says they only need his brain to track down the Tesseract, not the other guy. Fury then personally recruits Steve, who's still trying to adjust to the new century. Coulson then recruits Tony, who's just finished building Stark Tower, powered by clean energy. Tony and Pepper are officially dating now and would rather be enjoying the moment with her than join a team that he supposedly wasn't qualified for. But he changes his mind when he discovers the Tesseract is involved. Steve and Bruce join Natasha on S.H.I.E.L.D.'s massive helicarrier, and Bruce begins work on trying to locate Loki and the Tesseract. During this, Steve learns that Coulson is his biggest fan, and even has a bunch of vintage Captain America trading cards he would love for him to sign. Who knew Coulson was a fanboy? Bruce is able to locate Loki in Germany, so Fury sends Steve via a Quinjet to apprehend him. Loki is there, acting as a distraction during a social event so Clint can steal some iridium for Loki's secret plan. Loki can't help but play God to everyone there, and forces everyone to kneel before him. Steve interrupts his fun and fights him while Natasha provides cover with the Quinjet. Loki proves to be too powerful for Steve, but luckily Tony comes to Steve's rescue, like the badass that he is. Loki surrenders to them, but as they take him back to the helicarrier, Thor appears and takes Loki away.
We need a plan of attack! I have a plan. Attack.
So, Tony and Steve go after him. Thor is both happy and pissed to find his brother is still alive, and he pleads with Loki to abandon his crusade and come home. Loki refuses, but before Thor can knock some sense into crimes are sensitive to Thor. Thor wants to take Loki back to Asgard so he can answer for his crimes. But Tony needs Loki to find the Tesseract, so insults are thrown, resulting in a fight that has to be broken up by Steve. Steve then tells Thor to put down his hammer, which causes an already angry Thor to attack Steve. Steve blocks the attack with his shield, and the shockwave levels the entire forest. Earth's mightiest heroes are off to a great start. Loki is finally taken to the helicarrier and placed in a cell that is rigged to fall out of the helicarrier if he tries to escape. Everyone else is concerned with trying to stop Loki from opening another portal to bring the Chitauri to Earth.
He's my brother.
He killed 80 people in 2 days.
He's adopted.
But Steve and Thor are the only ones concerned over how easy it is to take Loki prisoner. Tony and Bruce end up bonding because they're the only scientists of the group, so they work together on finding the Tesseract. They also bond over their conditions, and Tony offers his glass-half-full perspective by saying Hulk saved Bruce's life when he was exposed to that much lethal gamma radiation. During this, Steve suspects Loki's reason for